When college graduate Jaime Reyes was chosen by an alien Scarab to be its symbiotic host, he was bestowed with an armor suit with extraordinary and unpredictable abilities. With the powers he gained, Jaime became a superhero known as Blue Beetle. In Palmera City, Jaime Reyes just got back home after graduating college and finally reunited with his family again. Jaime's happiness at being back home turned into worry when he learned that his family was on the verge of losing their home and that their family business went bankrupt due to being unable to catch up to a huge company called Cord Industries, which was making new developments. On top of everything, his father also had a heart attack, and they didn't have enough money to keep the family from falling any further. Wanting to help his family, Jaime looked for a job, but no one wanted to hire him despite his credentials and the fact that he's a fresh graduate. So his sister, Milagro, decided to help him out and got him a job as a cleaner at the mansion of Victoria Cord, CEO of Cord Industries. Jaime and Milagro were working when Victoria Cord returned, only to be confronted by her niece Jenny Cord about a defunct super police technology called the One-Man Army Corps, or OMAC for short. Jenny disapproved of Victoria continuing the project, as it was already shut down years ago by her father, Ted Cord, who was the former CEO of Cord Industries before he disappeared. Jenny demanded Victoria stop the OMAC project, but Victoria refused to do so, threatening Jenny to not get on her way. Jaime saw the confrontation and decided to step in when he saw how uncomfortable Jenny was. His actions caused him and Milagro to get fired. Outside the mansion, Jaime and Milagro were waiting for someone to fetch them when Jenny came out. Jenny apologized for Jaime and Milagro getting fired and gave her number to Jaime, giving him her contact number for a new job she was offering him. Jaime was hesitant to accept the job offer, but after talking with his father, he decided to text Jenny and accept the job. The next day, the whole family dropped off Jaime in front of Cord Industries, and the latter was beyond embarrassed because of his family's overly enthusiastic cheers of support for him. Meanwhile, Jenny had sneaked into a restricted area, and using a food delivery box, she stole the Scarab artifact that Victoria had discovered in a frozen wasteland somewhere in Antarctica. Jaime saw her in the elevator while she was escaping and followed her. Suddenly, the alarm went off, and Jenny handed Jaime the box containing the Scarab artifact and told him to hide it, warning him not to open the box or touch what was inside. Jaime told his family about what happened, and they urged him to look inside the box. They saw the Scarab artifact, and Milagro grabbed it, throwing it to Rudy to tease Jaime. The latter grabbed the artifact back, and once it was in his hand, it glowed and jumped on his face. The family was in panic as Rudy tried to help take the living artifact off Jaime's face when it suddenly sent electricity throughout the whole house, throwing Rudy away. The Scarab artifact entered Jaime's body, and he screamed as he began transforming, his whole body covered from head to toe with a blue armor of Scarab beetles. When he was done transforming, Jaime was startled to hear a woman's voice, which was actually the Scarab speaking to him. To check the armor's systems, Jaime was launched into space, which gave him a few seconds to admire the view before he started falling. Wings sprouted out of his back before Jaime could hit the water, and he was sent flying again. Jaime fell on top of a car, and when he saw a bus approaching, his armor created a shield for him, cutting the bus in half. Jaime was sent flying once again, and he got rudely dropped back into his home, naked, as the system checking was successfully done. When he woke up, he rushed to wear his clothes, screaming when he saw the blue Scarab sticking out of his back. Before he leaves to look for Jenny, Rudy explained that the police might work for Cord, and once they found out a seemingly military device was inside Jaime, the government would be all over her, and the whole family might get into trouble. So Jaime's mother didn't allow Jaime to leave, but the latter escaped while they were all arguing. Jaime looked for Jenny to ask for help in removing the Scarab inside him and found her escaping Cord Industries. Jenny entered the vehicle when she saw him, and they escaped from Victoria's mercenaries. Jaime took Jenny to his house, and Rudy obviously didn't like it as he started nagging at Jenny. The latter ignored him and asked where the Scarab was, only to find out that it was inside Jaime. Jenny explained that the Scarab artifact is a sentient bioweapon that was given to her father when she was a kid. The Scarab chooses its own host, and it willingly chooses to bond with Jaime. Jenny didn't know how to remove the Scarab from Jaime, but she knew where her father's vault was and thinks it is where they could find answers. To enter the vault, they need a digital key that was hidden in Cord Industries. Rudy dropped Jamie and Jenny off in front of Cord Industries, and the duo entered the building to steal Ted Cord's watch, which was also the digital key for his vault. But before Jamie and Jenny could escape, they saw Carapax, Victoria's bodyguard, who was sent to get the Scarab back. Jamie fought against Carapax, who had the OMAC prototype fused to his body, while Jenny went back to the car with Rudy. Seeing that Jamie was losing against Carapax, Rudy and Jenny sent Carapax flying, allowing Jamie to get inside the car so they could escape. On their way to Jenny's childhood home, Jamie informed Jenny and Rudy that the Scarab had introduced itself as Khaji-Da. The trio reached Cord's mansion, and using Ted's watch, Jenny opened the door to her father's vault, which was actually his secret laboratory where he used to operate as the superhero Blue Beetle. While Rudy hacked into Ted's computer, Jamie and Jenny went back upstairs, where Khaji-Da healed Jamie's wounds. Jenny then shared that her father spent his life studying the Scarab. Jenny's mother inspired Ted to become a superhero, but the Scarab didn't choose to bond with Ted, so the latter decided to create his own suits and gadgets, and became the superhero Blue Beetle. When Jenny's mother died, Ted lost himself, and later mysteriously disappeared. So when Jenny saw Jamie's close relationship with his family, she admired it. But deep inside, she was also jealous because she wanted to have that kind of family. After opening up to Jamie, the two started leaning in to kiss each other, but were stopped by Rudy, who suddenly came in the room to inform them that he had successfully hacked into Ted's computer. They went back to Ted's lab and learned that Khaji-Da once fused with someone who created the prototype OMAC suit. They found only one way for Jamie to remove the Scarab, but none of them liked the idea. The Scarab willingly chooses its own host. It would merge with its host on a cellular level and is set to protect its own host. The only way for the Scarab to leave its host was for the host to die. Jamie was disheartened at this discovery and had an argument with Rudy and Jenny. He then walked away, and Rudy followed to talk to him, making him feel better and encouraging him to accept the Scarab, thinking maybe it was his destiny and things happen for a reason. Jenny approached them, and they saw Victoria's helicopter passing by. Jamie knew they were heading to his home to look for him, and tried to transform into his Scarab suit so he could fly back home. But it wasn't working, and when he remembered what Rudy said about the Scarab protecting its host, he jumped off the roof, and Khaji-Da finally showed itself up. Jamie flew back home and protected his family from Victoria's mercenaries. When she saw that the bullets weren't affecting the Scarab suit, Victoria ordered her men to fire at Jaime's family. Jaime shielded them from the bullets and defeated most of the soldiers while the family ran away. But Milagro tripped and was unable to move because of a mercenary, so their father, Alberto, ran to help her. Seeing the situation his father and sister were in, Jaime shot the mercenary and put his focus back on Carapax, who was about to fire at him. But then, Alberto had a heart attack, and Jaime tried to run towards him, only to get caught by an electrical claw Carapax fired at him. The family house exploded behind them as Jaime's family huddled around his father, crying for help, while Jaime was captured by Victoria and Carapax. The ambulance arrived a while later, and Alberto was declared dead on the spot. The next day, the whole Reyes family decided to save Jamie together, and Jenny took them to the Cord mansion, where they used Ted's armored airship called the Bug Ship to rescue Jamie. The Reyes family and Jenny laid out a plan, and Jenny let the family borrow her father's gadgets and guns. Then they head off to the island fortress near Cuba, where Jamie was held prisoner and where the OMAC is being developed. Jenny and the Reyes family have arrived and have defeated most of Victoria's mercenaries using the Bug Ship. Jenny and Milagro then infiltrated the base in search of Jamie. They went through labyrinthine tunnels, where they found the room where they saw the OMAC units being powered up by the Scarab. Meanwhile, Victoria explained that she planned on creating thousands of super soldiers by downloading the Scarab's code into the OMAC's neural system, which she would then duplicate. The process will highly likely kill Jamie, and Sanchez, Victoria's lead scientist, didn't like the idea and tried to convince Victoria to keep Jamie alive so they could learn more about the Scarab. But Victoria didn't listen to him and ordered him to start downloading Scarab's code onto Carapax, who had an OMAC prototype. The extraction of the Scarab's codes had begun, and Jamie kept on screaming as he was put in excruciating pain due to the process. Jamie's organs started shutting down and his pulse was dropping. But before he passed out, Jamie saw a vision of his father, who encouraged him to embrace his destiny instead of fighting it. Jamie then bid farewell to his father and reached out to Kajida, finally accepting to be its host. While Jamie was reaching out to Kajida, Jenny and Milagro approached the generator and placed explosives on it. They stood away from the generator, and the explosives went off while Jamie had successfully accepted Kajida. But it was already too late, as the code had been downloaded into Carapac's OMAC suit. Jamie freed himself from his restraints, and Sanchez helped reboot his Scarab suit, but was killed by Carapax. Jamie ran away from Carapax, who is now wearing a fully powered Carapax suit, and met his Nana, who shot all the mercenaries with the high-tech machine gun she borrowed from Jenny. They went back to the bug ship, and when they realized that Jenny and Milagro hadn't come back yet, Jamie went back for them. Meanwhile, Jenny was rendered unconscious after the explosion, and when she woke up, she was captured by Victoria. Milagro, on the other hand, was being chased by the mercenaries when Jamie arrived to help her. Jamie defeated the mercenaries, and Milagro hugged him afterward. Rudy approached them, yelping in surprise when a body fell beside him, and Milagro ran to hug him. Jamie realized that Jenny wasn't there, but before he could go look for her, Carapax arrived, and the two of them engaged in a fierce fight. Jamie was losing against Carapax, but before the latter could kill Jamie, Rudy appeared and started throwing stones at Carapax. Carapax shot Rudy with a rocket, and thinking that Rudy was dead, Jamie was furious. Wanting to avenge his father and uncle, Jamie used all his power and strength to beat Carapax. And once he gained the upper hand, Jamie aimed to kill Carapax, but was stopped by Kajida. Kajida reminded Jaime of when he said that they weren't killers and showed him Carapax's past. Carapax lost his mother at a young age due to a bomb attack, and he became a young soldier who grew up in a bad environment and was taken in by Victoria, who used him as a guinea pig for her OMAC project. The painful life that Carapax led had turned him into a cold-hearted man who was manipulated into becoming loyal to the woman who mistreated him. Jamie took pity on Carapax and put his sword away. He pulled Carapax up and told him that his love for his family is what made him strong. Jenny, on the other hand, was in the helicopter with Victoria, who confidently stated that she could still start over with her project now that she had the duplicated Scarab code. But Jenny used a protective foam gadget, which killed the pilots in the process, and crashed the helicopter. With the help of the protective foam, Jenny and Victoria fell from the helicopter but safely landed. Once landed, Jenny destroyed the duplicated Scarab code, and an enraged Victoria told Carapax to kill both Jamie and Jenny. But for the first time since he was taken to Victoria, Carapax didn't obey her anymore. He let Jamie and Jenny escape while he pulled out the locket necklace containing a picture of him and his mother. He set his OMAC suit to explode and dragged Victoria along with him as he walked towards the illusion of his mother calling him with a smile on her face. Carapax's suit exploded, destroying the whole island with him and Victoria in it, and Jamie ran back to the bug ship, where he reunited with Jenny, his family, and Rudy, who was still perfectly alive. They all hugged each other, crying tears of joy that the whole ordeal was now over. After everything that happened, Jenny became the new CEO of Cord Industries. Meanwhile, the whole Reyes family now gave themselves time to mourn Alberto. They visited their old burned home, and the whole neighborhood came to offer their condolences and support. Jenny arrived a while later to join the family. She gave Rudy a new truck and informed them that Cord Industries would be responsible for rebuilding the Reyes family's home. Jenny bid farewell after a short while, as she was going to head back to her father's mansion, and Jamie offered to fly her there. Before they left, Jamie and Jenny stared into each other's eyes, with Kajida and the Reyes family teasing them. They shared a kiss as Jamie's body was covered with the Scarab suit, and they flew away. In Ted Cord's lab, the powers went on, and a garbled transmission from Ted Cord was received as the latter desperately confirmed that he was still alive.